coming along today. Just a few things, yes, if you could please, as much as possible, keep your masks on your face while you're sat down. Obviously, if you're taking a drink, that's fine. And also, obviously, when you're moving throughout the building. But yes, otherwise, I think everybody knows what to do with masks by now. But yeah, again, thank you so much for coming along. And without further ado, I want to bring on MC Nige to the stage.
Oh man. First of all, let's do a little bit of housekeeping. Can everybody just stand up, please, and get on your feet? Everybody on your feet. Anybody who's got a mobile phone that's got camera facilities, if you wouldn't mind doing me a favour, if you just take a photo of me. And my mum's a bit concerned that I've not been getting out much lately. Just anybody take a photo? Anybody at all? Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I think while we're standing, can we give ourselves a round of applause for making it this far? We've made it, ladies and gentlemen. We made it! They said it couldn't be done! I'm not messing about. We're going to be up here chit-chatting forever, although I'd love to be. But I'd like to introduce my first new friend. Now, you know that we've not been out for a while, and I've just found a new friend. Ladies and gentlemen, please will you welcome to the stage Miss Avatar!
You may sit down.
You can keep that round of applause going while she's getting...
Thank you. I just had a conundrum, lipstick or no lipstick, with the mask on. But I've managed to walk from there to here without smudging it, so. Yeah, lovely to be here. And I'm going to start with a song that's a bit of a saga. It's called The Fallen Angels' Unraveling Descent. I stand erect in a line to hell. There is no one before me. Many stand behind ever so slowly, ever so scarcely we progress. hoped to do an old one that I haven't done in a few years, but I haven't actually done anything in about a year. So I do beg your pardon if I get it wrong. This is called Blues of the Ugly Sister. I'm the ugly sister and she is Cinderella. It's me he really, really wants because I'm a great fuck. She is very, very naive, this is hard on her. But I'm the ugly sister, so I've learned a thing or two about life. It's hard on me too. Stuffing my foot into this high-heeled shoe, but I can do it for you. Baby, can you hear me now? You can't hear me. He's still getting over some crazy shit with his stepmother. She's evil, you know, but she's not to blame. It's just her part in the game. It's hard on her just the same. Cinderella cleans his floors and hopes for more. She watches him with hungry eyes, thus testifies to his innocence dying. I go to parties, spend hours with my looking glass, pulling hairs out from my moles. My eyes are too dark, sunken holes I'm wasting away. This is my decay, day by day. My love goes sour, like souring milk. He is trying to get clean. She cleans around him, asking him to lift his legs. Secretly likes it when she begs. He closes his eyes and tries to think clean thoughts. I am in my ballroom gown, so many carriages waiting around, but all I really want is to get down on the ground with no hypocrisy and to weep and weep for a lifetime of forced aristocracy. Oh, my heart now, oh, my heart, oh, don't you pray. Give it to me, don't make me Finally, I get a sexually transmitted disease. She fell ill with tuberculosis. She spits our blood on the white marble and she wipes it up with a warm rag. Her eyes are empty now. Wanting is far from her now. Maybe next time the clocks chime, she'll be a witch or a bitch. Use the poison apple on some other little girl. It really like the ugly sister should. So, yeah, I asked Alan Deadman, are you here, Alan? Oh, here you are. I asked Alan what kind of songs to do, and he said, do your filthy ones. I've written lots of thoughtful political songs, but no, you're getting the filthy one now. And in community spirit, it's a sing-along. It's called The Only Time John Paid for Sex. And you'll know when to sing along, I hope. We'll try it anyway. The sing-along is at the end, by the way. In my mind, I'm a female Johnny Cash for this one. Well, John is not the man that I love, but he was sent to me from the heavens above. He's a friend and the first guy I think of when I'm looking for an uncomplicated chat. His face is a fucking mess. He's been kicked around and had so much stress. When we met, I asked for truth, and he confessed he spent 15 years shooting up smack. Well, John's a good man, and he's used to being alone. His laugh has a very bell-like tone. He's got lots of patience, and he's made me moan now. Let me tell you about the only any time John paid for sex. Do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do. John paid for sex. Well, John was helping his mom move somewhere warm and green, and she in turn was helping John get clean. He built her house good, just like he said he would, and then she went away and left him some money in her car. Well, John was clean for the first time in 5 years. He was past the shaking and past the tears. He felt too alive for his own damn good, and he knew that he shouldn't, but he knew that he would drive into town looking for a working girl, not a looker, not a looker, just a hooker. Pressure was mounting like in a pressure cooker, 'cause it'd been 5 years since John fucked anyone at all. Well, John didn't know the language of this warm and pleasant land. He drove up and down, but he hadn't really planned, and he tried to explain himself, but they seemed not to understand. All those girls loitering around on that street John thought was a red light district of sorts. He drove up and down for 3 long hours. He was low on gas and mental powers when a lady finally came to him all dressed in flowers and said, "Sono un uomo," which in Italian means, "I am a man." once and then John thought twice, but he didn't really need to think thrice. A blowjob is a blowjob and a pretty man will suffice. And the lady man made John feel real nice. And even God was mentioned once, maybe a few times in that conversation. He came like a lion, it was all pretty quick. He said thanks a lot and he paid for the trick. But John still felt in debt, so he ventured a lick and then he bent down and sucked the gal's dick. Well, I say he's a gentleman, and he's got my respects. He's kind, and he's generous, and he's pretty complex. He built his life up from a pile of wrecks, and that's the only ever time John paid for sex. John paid for sex. John paid for sex. Yes, that's the only time John paid for sex. This is the bit where you all should sing with me, even though you all look very serious. But maybe it would help if you sang this song. John paid for sex. John paid for sex. Yes, that's the only time John paid for sex. John paid for. He paid for sex. He paid for sex. That's the only ever time John paid for sex. Should we try that one last time, just to make it slightly better? John paid for sex. John paid for sex. Yes, that's the only time John paid for sex. John paid for sex. He paid for sex. John paid for sex. Only ever time John paid for sex. Have you paid for sex? Thank you very much. Thank you, Naj. And just to say, my full name is Avital Raz. So.
Avital, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Avital. What? Avital, they were singing just with this on, you can't tell.
That's a good point, yeah.
One more time, please, Avital. Do we have a stagehand, please, to get rid of this microphone? I'm eagerly awaiting my movie debut. I'm in it. Thank you very much. Can I have a round of applause for Colin, please? I'm not sure whether Colin is in the movie, but he's an integral part of the movie. And also this gentleman here with the camera in his hand. Will you give a round of applause to this gentleman here, please? We're not messing about. Can we just jump straight into the movie? Can we do that? Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a few months in the making and lots of people squirreling behind the scenes to bring us this fantastic award-winning, it is award-winning, isn't it? Soon to be award-winning movie classic with enhanced special effects, I'm told, and now available in Super HD. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all though, can we give the Migration Matters team a round of applause, please? And if in fact you've had anything to do with the Sharrow Festival, past, present, or maybe in the future, and you want to get involved, can you give yourselves a round of applause, please? A proper, a whoop whoop, a whoop whoop. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, let's just play the movie. Come on!
Cause I need your love so bad.
We were talking about what we could do to just to sort of support young people in the area and what might be of interest and for children and young people. So we came up with the idea of a festival, thinking that would be a really good way of getting them engaged and involved, but also for all of the community, because a festival just, you know, is an appealing thing for everyone.
So I was already putting on world music gigs, mostly at Crooks Working Men's Club. And so I got invited just to DJ. So I had little tents. I just played in between DJ for 98 and 99. And then in 2000, there was quite a lot of money around for events because it was the millennium. So I applied and I got £10,000 to put on a festival. And I got the money, and then I thought, it never works trying to start a new festival on a one-off basis. What's the point of that? So I went to the small group that were organising Sharrow Festival. At that time, the budget was about £4,000 for the whole thing. I said, look, I've got £10,000 here. I'd like to put it into the festival. Can we big up the music stage? That was my only condition. And surprisingly, they said yes. And that's how I got involved.
Excellent. I thought it was brilliant. I really do. I mean, although I was only involved in a small way, I think at the beginning, the core of the people that were involved then, there's still quite a lot that's still involved in organising the festival, and I think that says quite a lot. Mm-hmm. We did get a lot of support from Sheffield United at one time, mm-hmm. and they always used to let us have a collection at the last but one home match of the season, mm-hmm. and we used to raise about £500.
It's not the biggest thing I do in my yearly calendar, but by far, I don't want to upset everybody else, but by far, it's the best thing I do. It's the best thing I do because it's my stomping ground, that's my territory. As we were kids, I went to Sharrow Lane juniors, and so that area, we was running about in that area before it was a park, and the people and the families that come down to visit the festival, we are related in a particular way. They're the same people that's been coming for years and years and years, right from day one.
Initially, I got involved to stop the beer tent, because every time there's a festival, there's always a beer tent. And I thought, if there's a beer tent, then they're gonna say in the mosque or in the community that, no, don't go there, you can't go there. Our men folk are gonna tell our women folk and our children folk not to go and attend this festival because it's not right. And so that was why I initially came on, just to stop the beer tent, but it was great.
It was really exciting to be part of that. And I think probably, you know, it still is one of the things that I feel has been really special in my life. And I'm very proud of actually what we did manage to do, getting that going. And it's really lovely that it's still here, you know, and still going strong. I know apart from this last sad year, but I think it's embedded now in the community, Sharrow Festival.
Yeah, I like the fact that Sharrow brings everybody together, all different cultures, different religions, different people, different ages, and it's just a nice, fun event. And I don't think in the years it's run we've ever had any problems whatsoever. We've never had to have a big police presence. It's more a community event.
Community for me, community cohesion for me is most important. It's up there within my faith. So it's important that the whole community live peacefully and in harmony. And if we can share each other's problems and each other's gifts and good things, we get on better.
It's not just, I think, unintended in terms of diverse communities, in terms of ethnicity and colour. It's also about, I think, it's about age, it's about class, it's about health. In lots of ways. There's always, it's very noticeable for me, partly because of the nature of the park, but there's often, people with, often very visible disabilities who are coming along to the festival as well. And again, I think that's part of the celebration.
There's something about the people in Sharrow. There's something about that whole area. I know sometimes it gets a bit hairy in the area at certain times of year, bonfire night and what have you, and London Road's can be a bit precarious at times, but overall I think it is a community that does work together and is inclusive and is tolerant of each other. I'm just going to say, in the whole time that I've done the festival, I've done festivals all over the country and particularly in Sheffield, but it's the one festival that I've done, there's only ever been one incident in my reign, and the incident lasted as long as it lasted, but the festival carried on. As soon as it was dealt with, the festival carried on, and it made no difference.
It is a really inclusive occasion for everybody, and I think in terms of just showing what a great area Sharrow was and is, and all of the different elements that make it up, and it really did come together.
It was always busy, because it was the one event in Sharrow. And I mean, one of the things that's really worth remembering is, this, for a lot of people who live in Sharrow, they don't go on holiday because they haven't got the money or they've got large families. And this was a day out, really, for people of Sharrow.
So there was a feeling that, we wanted to do something that would really try and encourage young people to get involved or just provide activities. And we had lots of the youth, the youth workers. Football Unites Racism Divides came right from the beginning as well. And they've been a sort of stalwart of the festival all this time as well.
We work the festival third. We've since its onset, we've run sort of football activities during the daytime stuff in the top field, using our street kick game. I mean, initially, if you go back to 1997, we'd have had our wooden game, which was sort of a series of wooden panels about 2 metre by 1 metre, and that bolted together with wing nuts and bolts and things. It was an absolute pain in the whatever.
I mean, like you say, some years when we can't be there, if my shifts don't allow, then we do try and get a police presence, like you said, the special constables, which they will go, they'll engage, but because they haven't got that local knowledge, the local contacts, obviously we go into the primary, like Netheredge Primary School is my school that I look after. I've been, 14 years in there. So I've seen all the kids that are now this big from, primary school age. So you build rapport with families and you need community policing for that.
I think it comes from the ethos of Sharrow itself, and we go back before the festival started. There was always a lot of activities by the churches, so the churches were pretty community minded. There was a good reception for refugees coming to Sheffield, and again that was partly mainly down to the Methodist Church, and there was a strong community organisation. So you had a lot of positive vibe to build on, really.
I've been known to do a little bit of dancing on the stage from time to time.
In your uniform?
In my uniform, yes, which is quite challenging. Yeah. So I've done a bit of Bollywood, I've done all sorts of different dancing.
Belly dancing?
Not quite, although I've got the belly for it, but no, not quite belly dancing just yet.
So many people towards the end of the day came up to you, you don't know them, they're total strangers, and they came up to you and they thanked you. They hugged you when we could hug, and you know, I probably got a few kisses on the cheek by the women, but my wife was watching, so it was all kosher, it was all good. And I think the thanks, you know, people genuinely thank you, and they said that you've made their day for the year. You know, this was it. This was so good, and that for me was quite important. Faith in community is very important because Islam, I'm a Muslim, and Islam says that I've got to live in peace and harmony with my community. As long as the community is not contradicting or stopping my faith or stopping my belief, we're all for it. And we're supposed to promote and live in so much that I'm supposed to, even with my dress, etc., if it's hurting people, I'm supposed to adapt to fit into that community. But then at the same time, then you show your beauty and the beauty of your faith and make that community think, hang on, they're just same as us. They might dress a little bit different, but at the deep down, fundamentally, all they want to do is bring up the kids safely in a safe environment and live.
And I can remember one year we had one or two of the Asian young women were stopped in the street. They were a bit worried by a white van with people in, and there was rumours going around the community. It was, I don't know if it was the National Front at that time or the BNP, one of these fascist groups was in the area, and they said the Asian community weren't coming, but the mosques and the Asian Welfare Association were really good, and the police were very good as well. They had no information at all that there was going to be any problems, but there were a few more police there that year, but there was no problems at all. But we were a bit worried about how many people were going to turn out.
A dad says to me, yeah, my daughter's singing, is there any chance she can do the Sharrow Festival? I went, yeah, how old is she? He says she's 3. I said, yeah, I'll save you a slot, yeah. Thinking, there's no chance she's coming. And she come with this beautiful, great big white dress. You can still find it on YouTube. Princess Jam Jam sings at Sharrow Festival. She come with this beautiful dress on, she came out. And she started singing. Well, she was good, but my crowd was amazing on that day. And she may as well have been Lady Gaga throwing it out. The crowd just went bonkers for her. But, you know, and you could see it in her eyes and in her face as she performed. Oh, it was brilliant. So Princess Jam Jam is one of my favourite memories.
Rock is plastic, it's fantastic. You come for smile and dress you everywhere. Imagination, rock is your creation.
Barbie, let's go party.
I'm a Barbie girl in the Barbie world. Rock is plastic, it's fantastic.
Please make some noise.
Nisha is another one. Nisha Dance Creations. Oh man, when she brings their little crew and they start from tiny babies right up to beautiful, elegant swans, and they're just, oh man, I love that crowd. But I think this festival is just blessed that everything goes right. Do you remember the time when it tipped it down? It absolutely shedded it down, but everybody started rolling about on the floor, and people were coming up from the bottom field from head to foot, caked in it, and there can't be anything better than that.
That's unbelievable, isn't it?
Well, we were lucky with the weather, yeah. We did have to postpone it one year.
Every year we tried to find somebody to come and open the festival to make it a bit of a special occasion. And the first year, Vince Walsh, who was involved, got the there was a Buddy Holly musical on at the Lyceum. So we had this idea of approaching them to see if they would come and play some music and open the festival, which to our amazement they agreed to. And even more surprising, they turned up in a white limousine, drove onto the park in a white limousine, sort of jumped out, started playing music, and so that festival did start with a real bit of a special thing. But the following year we had Ian McMillan, the Bard of Barnsley, came and did his bit, and that was wonderful. He was great. And then the third year we had Lindsay Dracath, who'd lived in Arbourthorne and was the Eurovision Song Contest. She was the England sort of Eurovision Song Contest person, singer. So she came and opened the festival. And so after that, I can't remember what happened, but I think it sort of fizzled out that. But it was nice at the beginning, to do those.
We had Magic one year.
We did. Oh, he was wonderful. Yeah. But also just the people who've always done the emceeing have been fantastic. It didn't really need that after. We just sort of did that to begin with, just to really sort of get it going. But actually, it didn't need that after a while, because people just came.
To be honest with you, when I was younger, I used to love, like the football, and now and again you'd have like MC Nige on the little stage, and you'd have dance or music, or it'd be saying something on there. But to be honest with you, I think it's just nice to have a walk around, meet people that you probably not see for a long time, because a lot of people that used to live there, they've tend to kind of moved, but they still tend to come to the Sharrow Festival because it's something what they've been coming to since they were probably young, the same as me. So it's nice to just see some old faces, shall I say. So
I've got a picture somewhere of somebody actually having a go at fire eating, which obviously now, you think about it now. And the other thing we had actually for quite a couple of years was we had a tug of war. And that was great fun. That was such fun. But I think it had to stop really because of, safety reasons, because there were so many people trying to do it, especially lots of enthusiastic, young uns wanting to, so we just kind of felt it had got a bit sort of, we just wanted to make sure it was safe, so we decided not to do it, but they loved it. I mean, it was such good fun. I really enjoyed the tug of war. But, there were so many people on it, and if it, when they went back, we were worried about people getting crushed because it was so popular. Each time, new people have come in with new energy and new ideas, and that's how it's been so dynamic all the time, that there's just been constantly new people getting involved and supporting it, and that's how these things sort of sustain, I suppose.
They're more general things, I think, in that a lot of our sort of volunteers have grown up at the festival, volunteering at sort of Sharrow Fest and various other sort of events that we've done around the city. So a lot of our guys from, some of the young people now are in their mid-30s and community workers or teachers or various other things themselves, and I just remember having to babysit some of them as kids when we were at Street Kick, because they came along with their younger brothers or their older brothers or sisters, and they've sort of moved into sort of using our activities and then volunteering themselves, and then moved on to other forms of development, and that's been really nice.
We're kind of blocked off area where the kids can come in, parents, very welcoming to anyone really. Provide activities, indoor space. Obviously because of COVID now it's different, but before it was indoor. We'd have activities, games, And then also you've got the free outdoor space to play, and it's sand, you know. A lot of the kids think, oh, they're at seaside, or, you know, it's just something different. You don't see a playground like ours everywhere. You know, Sheffield's got 2, but ours has got full of sand and the other one's grass. So both obviously do their bit, but you know, we've got that kind of different kind of touch to ours, which I really like as well. And I used to go there as a kid as well. So you get almost 80% that come with kids, and then the rest come just because obviously some music, some other things like the stalls. So I think majority of it, the kids love it because of, like I said, the football, the music, the food, the other activities that they do. Sometimes they have bounce, the castles, and you know, it's good because it caters for everyone if you think about it. You know, music, some of the older ones like the music, some of the younger ones like the football, and it's just good because it caters for everyone, you know.
It's all about the common elements. Everybody's got children, so if a festival is looking after children from, you know, whatever cultural or ethnic group, that sends out a strong message. Everybody likes food, and you know, the food and all the different foods. I mean, it's amazing, really, isn't it, what we've had?
But we had some pretty spectacular bouncy castles and things. I remember having a human table football, which was really popular. I think you had a velcroed strap round you and you had to sort of try and move forward, and it pulled you back. It was so popular. Sumo wrestlers, and we had all sorts of inflatables and wonderful weird things going on.
You know, by the time you're into a couple of hours, the whole festival is cooking, it's happening. And I just loved just walking around, you know, as a punter really, just looking at all the things going on, from the, you know, the play area with all the young kids, to the DJ and the graph art in the all-weather pitch. You know, it's just walk around and just marvel at what was going on, and the little interactions between people. You know, that aspect of community, which is, it's easy to be trite about, but I still think so, that Sharrow Festival must be one of the best multicultural festivals in the country. You know, best in terms of more or less something for everybody, but also no aggro. One year, and I can't remember his name, we booked, accidentally, a major Bhangra star. Oh, yes. And he was in the charts, you know. How did that happen? But from about 10 o'clock, there's a non-stop stream of young British Asian girls, about 8 or 9 year old, kept running up and saying, is he on? Is he really on? Is he really coming? Is he really coming? Yeah. And that, you know, that wonderment, that's the word, was fantastic. You know, they were so happy.
Sharrow Festival was a great start-up for a lot of groups and little bands that are now thriving. They came and did their first performances through Alan at Sharrow Festival.
My son he spits bars. Is there any chance that he can sell some of his CDs? Would you mention he's got CDs for sale, tapes for sale? I said, yeah, where is he? He says he's here. He's only this big. And I says to him, are you brave enough to come up on stage, because I've got a slot free for you? And he went, yeah, I'll come up. So I got him up, big afro, stood up in the middle of my stage, and he started spitting bars like, it was rap, but it was a little poetry, like poetry rap. And he spat bars, and that guy murdered it. It was brilliant, fantastic. It was only tiny. I said, ladies and gentlemen, please will you support the guy? It's all about supporting our young people. Buy his CDs. It took about 15 minutes and all his music was gone. Everything that he brought to the festival, my crowd scooped it up and brought it. Now I hope you've got those things, because today that young man has gone on to become Sheffield's Poet Laureate. Otis Spencer, ladies and gentlemen, and he sang on my stage when he was this big.
Because it was very immediate, playing in that field with a couple of thousand people sitting in front of you, getting that feedback, it's really, you know, as a musician, that's good.
I would say it's an excellent festival. We're a very diverse area, and you ought to come along and just see what a wonderful atmosphere it is and how all the community actually come together.
Yeah. Awesome. All of that's the difference. Somebody who can sit there and sew that. I know. You've still got your integrity. Everybody who rocks up, even from the stall holders, the people who are selling food, they rock up with a purpose, because Sharrow Festival is the one day, it is the one day they can make some big money, but it's also the one day where they get to see their people. And the people, so the guy who's selling chicken, he has an audience that's been coming to him year in, year out. So I'm on stage talking about all the people who come to who sit in front of me and stay there. But the chicken guy is exactly the same. And the same with the lady who sells ice cream. Yeah. And she's still selling ice cream. She's been there from day one. And people go there because last year she put an extra flake in my little lad's. Do you know what I mean? I didn't ask for it, but she just, and it's that. Those are the elements.
And Mrs. Grinelli came with her ice cream van every year. She was lovely. She'd come every year, bless her, and she worked so hard, and she always used to give us a donation at the end for the festival. But yeah, Grinelli's ice cream van was always very popular.
It's not like anything else. It's not like any of the other festivals. It's not. It isn't like any of the other festivals, but there's an invisible ingredient that I don't know what it is, but everybody feels it when they come to Sharrow Festival. They come to Sharrow Festival and they go and they feel something in it. And it might be what you've said, because Alan doused it in love.
My top one is just the amazing people that I did the festival organising with, and just the friendships that have come out of that, and the sort of camaraderie of putting the festival together. I think that's always been really special. And there were moments when, you know, there were times when I burst into tears when the generators weren't doing what they were supposed to do, and then somebody would come up and give you a hug and it's okay, we'll sort this, you know. And we just had a great team sort of spirit. That was lovely.
Sharrow Festival was always one of the centre pieces of our work, our local work, and we used to organise a community day down at Sheffield United as well around the same time. But for us, I think these types of relatively large-scale events where most of the different factions of the community come and congregate and interact and get on, and there's music and there's information stalls and there's food, and it's just a massive celebration of the diversity that exists in and around the area, and we loved it, to be honest. As I say, it was very central to our work, and fits in with our ethos of bringing people from different backgrounds together to break down barriers to it was great. I would say it's a celebration of the diversity that exists in the area, it's hard to, without further explaining it. But Sharrow's got a massive mix in terms of people from very different backgrounds, different religions, different ethnic groups, different cultures, and for me, I think that's one of the things that makes it quite rich. So and a lot of that is reflected in the Sharrow Festival. So I would say, come and have a look and see what you think. You'll learn a lot more about Sharrow and about the area.
I think that's difficult to say. Why does it work? I mean, it's often easier to know why things don't work rather than why they work, and maybe it's just accepting that it does work, and to try and capture that. Obviously, the festival's got to adapt. The fact over the last 25 or 24 years, whatever, you know, it has evolved. I think when it opens again, which I no doubt it will next year, I think it will be different, inevitably. I suspect there'll still be issues about social distancing knocking around next year, if I'm honest. But I think the festival can take place, partly because people respect each other, and social distancing is kind of very much dependent on people respecting each other. One of the ironies of the last 18 months is the park's been used more, but it's also been, I think, appreciated more. Even though it's been used more, there's actually very little litter there. There's very little vandalism, there's very little hassle in terms of antisocial behaviour. I think that police would recognise that. And, you know, and I credit to people who are, you know, I quite like litter picking, but there's some people who do it obsessively, and I really appreciate them. Their obsession keeps my front garden very, very clean and tidy, and I really want to recognise that. But it is, I think, the sheer range of things that happen in the park kind of mirror the festival as well. You know, whether, again, it's different ages, people having different activities, all really kind of rubbing on.
It's just something that brings all the community together, and, you know, like I said, the old faces, they tend to pop down. Why not? You know, there's no harm in, you know, loads of stalls and music and football and everything for kids to enjoy, and it keeps them off the road, you know, keeps them busy. So. And
I think the fact that it was free, the fact that nobody got paid, that tends to make people more inclined to volunteer. And the graffiti area, we were never allowed to say that, but that's what it was, as you know, was totally independently organised by some people that really go back to the hip-hop scene in Sheffield in the late 70s, early 80s. And so, you know, everybody did their bit and still does their bit. And that's what makes it so great. And I think Sharrow, well, I mean, I'm sure it's had its tensions, but, you know, as I say, there's a general sense of community. There are quite a few professionals working towards that. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. It's a bit magic, really.
And it's just a lovely event. Everybody, and you get the people speak to the police at these events, whereas normally they might not, or they might just say hello, but they'll have a conversation, they'll have a laugh and a joke. You've got to have a sense of humour at these events. You know, especially by 8 o'clock. Yes, yes, definitely.
We've missed it, and we're looking forward to the festival coming back, and hopefully next year we'll be in a position to run it again, close to how it should be run. Because
so if someone was saying, why should I go to this festival in Sharrow, what's the first thing you'd say to them?
Test it, try it, see if you like it. If you don't, that's fine. But if you do, come back again.
Why not? Why not come to Sharrow Festival? Because I guarantee you it would be the best day of that summer for you. Guaranteed. And when you come, you'd open your eyes, you'd see the people, you'd see the love, you'd see the harmony. Not people sat in groups where you've got a group of Asians sat in one corner and a group of white people sat in another corner and some other community in another. You'd see everybody together.
The good thing about festivals is that, you know, the everyday rules don't apply. It's like a break, it's like a hiatus from everyday life, and I think that's why everybody responds so well.
I came here today with my family and some friends, and the best bit I enjoyed was the breakdancing competition over there.
Oh, it's a nice day out. The multicultural side of it I really love. Love seeing the various dancing and the music and the food.
The food especially. What do you like?
Everything, it's all good. It's like all different cultures. Everyone's just got together and makes a change.
And the best bit?
The music.
It's quite exciting. Lots of different music, lots of different food, which is really exciting.
And it's all multicultural society, and it's nice to be together.
I like going in that white tent where you have to make stuff, and I made these.
Have you been here before?
No, I haven't. It's my first time.
First time, what do you think?
I really like it. My friend's been before, but so she's going to tell me about it. I really like it. Definitely come again.
You will come again?
Yeah.
That's great.
Anyone and anybody can come and not feel away or feel out of place or anything, so...
Hey, Sensei go, yo! Oh, yeah! All right, that's what I'm talking about.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This gentleman down here is Blake Sherwin. He's the guy who was involved in the filmmaking. Will you give him a round of applause, please? I think he's done an amazing job. Considering all the riff-raff he had to work with. Yeah, that's really important. Will you give my friend Colin a round of applause as well, please, at the back? Now, we've come to the crucial part where it's questions and answers. However, it's not mega important that we do question and answers, but if you do have a question that you'd like to fire at the Sharrow Festival team, now is the time. Yeah, come on. Yeah, you have to come down. Yeah, you've got to come down. Will you give this gentleman a round of applause, please, while he makes his way to the stage? Right, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Yeah, do it. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
First of all, thank you so much for the screening, and what a fantastic... I've actually gone to the festival many times growing up. Didn't know who planned it, but I just thought it was a great day out. My question is because now I work in the field of actually funding festivals, and how do you build a sustainable model, and what do you feel the future looks like in terms of challenges, and what's the aspirations going forward?
Wow. That's fantastic. What I'll do is I'll answer that question. No, like I could. Colin, get yourself up here. Ladies and gentlemen, give Colin a round of applause, please. Our good friend Colin.
The simple answer is that it relies on volunteers and goodwill, realistically. We fundraise every year and spend slightly less than we fundraise. And over the years have therefore built up a little bit of a pot of money for it. But also, we've never grown beyond that. So we try and keep it to the sort of 10 grand, so the awards for all level. Yeah, and if it's going to get much more than that, then we have to know we can afford it. So it hasn't changed a lot. That's the point. We're not each year trying to get bigger and bigger and bigger and better bands. Stay with what we've got. Yeah, but we know it works. We couldn't put the Beatles on there, no, for quite a lot of reasons. But yeah, it works, so we don't need to make it any different. But a lot of volunteering is the real answer.
Thank you. Are you going to cut? Are you going
And you're doing your best to get me in, aren't you?
Yeah.
I've seen you.
Says to me, during the whole project, he's managed to stay away from the cameras, so he's a bit camera shy, so yeah, drag him to the front. Has anybody else got any questions? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, before you go, I want to just put something in your head. It's important. It's mega important. If you're on social media and you're on Facebook, I want you to follow the Sharrow Festival. Just follow the Sharrow Festival because that's where all the information is, and plus that's where all the tidbits, I can say tidbits, can't I? That's where all the tidbits are going to be. Yeah, man. Give yourselves a round of applause, please, for turning up and for staying and for doing your thing. Oh, wait a minute. Let me just put that there. We were using it as a prop, but it seems a bit of a shame to have brought it all the way from Sharrow and it not get used. If you've got any brown stuff in your pocket, bursting your linings, just stick it in that bucket. We'll take care of it, it's all good. Ladies and gentlemen, my name has been MC Nige. Thank you very much, and I love you.